Hey guys, today we're gonna be working glutes and hamstrings. I have a 5 exercise workout that's going to be using bands only, so you can do it at home, at the gym, wherever you are. All right, first exercise, we're gonna be doing lying leg curls. We're doing 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps. To set this up, you're gonna grab yourself a single 41-inch band. You could use 1, you could use 2. I'm gonna use 1, and I'm hooking it up to a low anchor point. We're using a Clench Fitness wall anchor that's down to the floor. You can use a door anchor strap, squat rack, anything low to the floor. We want it to be low so that it pulls our legs out nice and straight. Next piece of equipment I have here is a bench. I like to use a bench because it gets me up off the ground and it allows me to really fully extend my legs all the way and have good tension. You don't necessarily need a bench. You can use the floor if you want. The other piece of equipment that I'm using for these is a pair of ankle straps. They're pretty common, pretty easy to find, and it makes it a lot more comfortable because you can just attach your band really easy here right to your feet. And you don't have to worry about it sliding around. You don't have to worry about it digging into the back of your ankles or anything like that. But if you don't have them, you can still just hook the band right up to the back of your feet, have someone help you into it. It's not that big of a deal. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do to get this exercise set up, we wanna make sure we have good tension at the bottom of the reps. You wanna get yourself far enough away from your anchor point so that this band's got some stretch on it when you start. And then when we jump onto our bench here, we're just gonna lean all the way forward, lying down. We're gonna focus on thrusting our hips into our pad, and we're gonna drive our knees kind of together, pushing our knees together, kind of squeezing them together. And then to go through the rep, it's gonna be nice and slow and controlled. So you wanna try to push through the concentric here. Big squeeze at the top, make sure you get all the way up, all the way through the range of motion, and then let it down nice and slow here. A couple of seconds all the way down, let it pull those legs all the way straight. And then the same thing here, thrust your hips into the pad and squeeze it all the way up. Try not to use a lot of momentum. It's really easy to try to like throw your body into it because this is a very challenging exercise and usually hamstrings are kind of weak. So focus on thrusting those hips into the pad and then controlling the rep and really pushing all of that tension into the hamstring muscles, and try not to use the rest of your body and momentum to do this exercise. Next exercise, number 2, we're doing resistance band hip thrusts, 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, and I want you trying to bump that resistance up with each set. So start with your lightest resistance, a warm up, closer to 12 reps, and then as you go through your sets, increase that resistance band, and then your last set, set 4, should be working set. I want you to the highest resistance, and you want to be down into that 8 rep range, really grinding through these reps and feeling that squeeze. To set these up, single 41-inch band. You're gonna need a bench or something to lean back on. And then hooking, basically you grab your band, split it in half, hook one of the ends on one foot, other end on the other foot, and now we're splitting it in half, get it kind of right around the midsole of your foot, and then we're gonna basically grab this band low and wide, pull it up over our knees, and sit down, and then we're gonna hook that band kind of right in that V of our hips here, and then we're gonna walk ourselves out away from this bench, set ourselves down, adjust everything to get it comfortable, and now to do the hip thrust, we're gonna drop our hips down nice and low here, and then we're just gonna be using our glutes, and we're gonna be thrusting our pelvis straight up towards the ceiling. Exhaling on the way up, big squeeze at the top, and at the top your legs should be at just about a 90 degree, and then we wanna really focus on squeezing those glutes and driving those hips up to the ceiling. Nice squeeze, and then let it down. Control that eccentric, couple seconds, and then back up. That's how we do the banded hip thrusts. Next exercise, number 3, we're going to be doing some standing single leg curls. So what you're going to need is a single 41-inch band and a low anchor point. You want something that's really close to the floor so that you get good tension and you don't have to put yourself so high up off the floor. I'm also using a little platform here. You can use anything. You could stand on a big thick phone book or something if you wanted to. But basically, to set this up, we're gonna take the band, thread it through our anchor point, fold it in half, and I like to just hook it right around the ball of my foot. Usually my shoes will just kind of grab onto the band and hold it. Sometimes that might not work well for you, or if you're working with bare feet, you probably don't want to do that, so you can use like an ankle strap or something. But I prefer it just to go around my shoe. And I guess the reason why I like it this way is because it gets me good tension, and it forces me to really control the rep, because if I let off of this, the band's gonna fall off. So I have to keep the rep under control and under tension the whole time. That's why I like to hook it up this way. And to set up the exercise, hooking the band around your foot, and then we're gonna back away from the wall until we have good tension. And then I have my off leg up on a platform just to allow me to get my foot off the floor. And then I'm just gonna lean into the wall and adjust myself until I get a good tension. I want tension pulling my leg straight. And then I'm gonna be driving this knee into my other knee and trying to keep my femur here stationary throughout the exercise, so that all we're doing is pivoting at that knee joint. And then I'm gonna lean up against the wall to give me some more support. And then we're just curling all the way up, keeping that femur in a stationary position, really squeezing it and letting it down slow. I like to kind of extend the hips, try to thrust the hips forward as well, and then really squeeze it up. Big squeeze, let it down nice and slow. These are all about control and making sure that you get all the way through the range of motion so that we can really squeeze that hamstring at the top of the rep and then let it down nice and slow. Switching sides, super easy. You just drop the band off of your foot, slide your platform over, and then hook it up, and you're on to the next set. Next exercise, number 4, we are going to be doing Romanian deadlifts, or RDLs. This is a hip hinge exercise. What you're gonna need is a single 41-inch band. You probably want multiple resistance levels as we pyramid up the weight as you go through your sets here. The other items that I'm using to make this more comfortable are a Clench Fitness foot plate and then a pair of Clench band handles. The way I like to set this up is to thread the band through the front handle here and split it in half. And that way, now the resistance is out in front of me, and because we're gonna be doing this hip hinge style of exercise, it's gonna be in a great position when I'm hinged all the way down, and then when I thrust back up, thrust my hips forward, it's good tension, and it's right where I want the tension to be in terms of pulling straight down. It's out in front of me, it's not in my leg, it's not in my knees. That's why I like to do it this way. And then I add in the Clench band handles, mostly for comfort, but also because they take up slack in the band. And that's another thing, you wanna make sure you have enough band tension all the way down here. If you're a shorter individual, you might end up with some slack here. You can just wrap the handle or wrap the band around the handle an extra time to take up some of that slack and get you in a good position here. So doing the exercise, we get roughly, right around a shoulder width stance, and then I center myself on the plate, getting this resistance kind of out in front of me. And then to do the exercise, we're keeping our knees pretty much locked here, like 90% locked, not like totally locked and straight, but basically straight. And then to go down, I like to basically focus on breaking at the hips first and basically sticking my backside or my butt out behind me and reaching back. That allows me to get all the way down in this exercise and keeping a nice flat back, pulled my core in nice and tight. You should feel a really big stretch all the way down those hamstrings. That's how you know that you're doing it right. And you basically go down as low as you can go until you have enough stretch on the hamstrings. You don't want to go super low because your back's gonna start to hunch. So you want to keep your back as flat as possible, go as low as you can before your back starts to hunch over. And then to go up, basically thrust the hips forward, squeeze the glutes, and all the way up into that vertical position. A little bit faster, reach back with your butt, stretch it all the way out, thrust the hips forward, big squeeze at the top. It's all about control here. This one puts a lot of stress on your low back, So you wanna keep everything nice and slow and controlled. You don't wanna do a lot of jerky movements, especially at the bottom, because you could potentially injure your back or do something like that. So just keep everything nice and controlled, and also that'll give you a really good hamstring stretch and great engagement on the hamstrings and glutes. And for sets and reps on this, we're going to be doing 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, and make sure we're pyramiding up in resistance, just like we have been doing the entire workout. Last exercise, number 5, certainly not least, we are gonna be doing Bulgarian split squats with a forward lean. And the forward lean is basically gonna help stretch that glute out, give us a little bit more engagement. We're doing 3 sets of 15 reps per leg. So we're really gonna go for all the marbles here and just blow those glutes and hamstrings up. And this very last exercise, what you're gonna need is a single 41-inch band. I like to use a Clench Fitness foot plate. Don't necessarily need it, but it makes it a lot easier to switch legs. And then the last thing you're gonna need is a bench and maybe a pad to prop up that back leg so we can do the single leg Bulgarian split squat. Grab your band. I like to hook it around the outboard channel of the foot plate and then put the foot plate to be parallel to my foot. And then setting this up, make sure you get your foot plate or your front foot in a good position relative to the bench. And to do that, you're gonna jump down here, get into your band. You can put it up on the front, like on your front delts like this, but I find that when I start to do a little forward lean, it kind of likes to slip off. So I will put it around my traps. And a lot of people get kind of wishy-washy about putting the band around your neck. I would say put it down as low as possible. If it's not comfortable, if it hurts, hook it around the front of your shoulders. But for this to me feels the most comfortable, and it's not a super high amount of resistance kind of relative to what I usually lift. So I can do it, and I don't have any problems. So setting this up, you want to get your foot centered on the plate, and then when you drop down, we're going to have a little bit of a forward lean here. So usually when we drop down, we kind of stay vertical like this. I want to have around a 20 to 30 degree forward lean here. That's gonna stretch out this glute muscle and give us a lot more activation. So as we go down, basically getting all the way down here, so our knee is at about a 90 degree, and then squatting it back up, keeping that forward lean. And we're gonna be grinding out 15 reps here, nice and controlled. And you can feel that glute just coming on fire. So you're doing 15 reps, and then you're gonna switch sides. This is what the foot plate makes it so much easier to do. Pop my foot back, get my balance set up here, and then hammer out that other side. And that's how we're doing the Bulgarian split squats. All right, that is our 5 exercise glute and hamstring workout. I hope you made it all the way through, and I hope those split squats at the end really got those glutes pumped up. Also, if you liked this workout, be sure to smash that like button. Furthermore, if you want to see more content like this, if you want more workouts or exercise videos, check out the on-screen links. We got tons of them on this channel, and we'd love to have you stick around. Also, if you need any of the resistance bands or accessories shown today, head over to clenchfitness.com and we will hook you up, and thank you for watching.